It wasn't working. I was like, I got to check it every time I load up the program.
Should be good.
Get paranoid. It's like, why isn't it working? I don't know. All right. Good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 396. Pixar did that! Exclamation point. Positive Black and autism representation in Pixar's Loop. All right. And this was a video came out this year in February by AnimePuffz. And this user has, let's see, 27,000 subs. And this video has less than 2,000 views.
For good reason.
It's a 10-minute and a half, maybe 11-minute video. I tried watching the first second of this, and I immediately paused and started laughing. So,
the watch together automatically plays the first second before it pauses, and I understand what you mean.
Yeah. So this is obviously a younger lady. She has her own life ahead of her. She has experiments in cosplay and makeup, and that's good for her. I don't really care. But she's a very positive minded girl, I think, from the 1 second I saw of her. And yes, my amazing deductive skills can see past race and makeup. It's amazing. I know I can deduce these elements of her personality. I don't know how I do it, but you know,
you're so prejudiced. You're such a racist, man.
You know, I just love talking about black girls. What can I say?
We should invite Jay Longbone.
Oh yeah, for this video.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I don't know. In general.
In general, yeah, maybe. Why not? Anyway, I don't know who recommended this, but good luck, fellows. We are in for a ride, I'm sure.
I just watched this. The Pixar short film that this is about. I didn't know this of this one before, and this is about low functioning autism.
Okay.
Not high functioning autism. Big difference. Thanks to the helicopter moms that want their low functioning autistic children to just be special. It's all lumped together into one big blob, which autism isn't. Autism is an actual spectrum, contrary to the gender nonsense. And this is not about this shit is, as the title says, it's about representation. No, fuck representation. If anything, this Pixar short film is an explanation through is illustration the right word? It's just showing. It's just show, don't tell. And that is not representation. It just shows you what a low-functioning autist is like and goes through, and it's not necessarily a bad person. And that the guy is black is completely irrelevant to the story. It's completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
he could be Asian. He could be an alien. It doesn't fucking matter.
It's the same with what's that guy's name? Walter Jr. on Breaking Bad. Is that his name? Like he has cerebral palsy, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if he didn't. Like it wouldn't really matter. His acting is fine. He represents the son very well, and you know that's all. You want that dramatic punch. So it doesn't matter. It helps that he's disabled and he has to express himself very strongly. That's great, but it would have been just as fine with another actor and who was good at their craft. So.
Yeah, his disability has little to no bearing on the story. And what you mean with hits home more is that it makes it more understandable that Walter White wants to provide for the future of his family after his death. And that would work without him being disabled. It's just an extra note. But yeah, in this little short film, don't know if you've seen it. It's all about oh God. I mean, I just watched it. I haven't put everything into words yet. I have my issues with it, but it's minor. The main thing is this is about a low functioning autist who is unable to articulate herself, which is one of the things that annoys me about this, because she has a smartphone, and so the short film is titled Loop, because she keeps pushing the soundboard button on her smartphone to hear the sound that she likes. And the thing is, with low-functioning autists, they quite often can learn to type in order, even if they can't speak. They can learn to type and convey quite articulate messages that way. But this isn't the case here. This is just staying on this low. Here's the funny sound I like level, and I don't know. There is a bit of an emotional moment at the end where the girl apparently builds up the friendship with the guy in that she forces herself to look at his face. And that is not a thing of shyness with autists. It's that simply looking at faces is a bit stressing. And to explain where that is coming from is a longer topic in itself.
Let's also
but it's not.
Put this in perspective. This is a 9-minute video. It's not a big movie. So
Well, more like 7 minutes. The rest is credits.
Oh yeah, good point. So anyone can go watch it. Is it free? Like, can you just watch it right now? I don't even know.
I think it's only on Disney Plus right now.
Yeah, probably. So yeah, Pixar does a lot of these short films. I don't know where they come from or when, but they are there for your perusal.
Some of them are really cool.
Yeah.
They've been doing short films since the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're like not proof of concept, but hey, we want to make something. We just don't want to spend millions of bucks. So we're going to do this. And that's awesome. I love short films. I love short stories, all kinds of media that is simple and consumable and is focused. And you have to be good.
The old man in the park playing chess with themselves is one of my favorites.
Yes, that's definitely my favorite one. The rest are just really weird demo reels.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the one who's playing chess?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Chess with himself.
Yeah. Don't spoil it. I know it's really, really old, but lots of people don't know that Pixar even makes these short films.
You know, as a kid, it's like there's no way there's twins playing chess. Wearing the exact same clothes.
Yeah, it's great because a lot of these films don't have too much dialogue or don't have a lot of talking.
Yeah.
It's just all visual. And
and that's what makes them great films, because they convey the story through pictures, through actions, through acting, if you will, and not through words.
Yeah, and that one was
it's all show don't tell.
That one was
and this too is a show don't tell.
That came out like in the 90s or something. That was a long one, like a long time ago.
It's over 2 decades now.
Yeah.
Which one in particular?
The chess one with the old man.
Yeah, 90s.
Yeah,
It was one of the first ones.
They also. I know it's the 90s.
The first one is a fucking nightmare to look at. Don't even try.
I said one of the first ones.
The old man. Well, I know the old man playing chess is from the 90s because they used that same model for the guy that cleans Woody in Toy Story 2. You remember?
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, I wouldn't. The main problem with the video we cover and not the short film will be that this is all focused on this representation bullshit, and this is this language torture that this manipulation, this warping that the socialists have done. People are, especially of the next generation, are not even thinking in normal terms. They're not thinking in, this is an explanation, this is a showcase, this is something that shows you what autists can be like, low-functioning autists. No, it's about representation of autists, which means, and for representation, every time socialists talk about representation, they confront us with their ideas of what that is, what a representative character is, which in the end is nothing but a stereotype. So when SJWs bring up representation, what they want is stereotypes. You see that all throughout the media that they infest.
All right. Well, let's get started. It's only 10 minutes and a little bit.
Let me bring up one quick little fun fact about Pixar before we start. You know, in Wrath of Khan, where you see the big CG sequence that when they're explaining the Genesis project. Pixar did that.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
I thought all of it was Island.
One of the first really big showcases of what CG can do. They did early Pixar did the whole Genesis project thing in Wrath of Khan.
Wow. Cool.
All right, now we're gonna get started.
All right.
Well, I apologize for the interruption.
Okay, I'm not going to crank up the volume because, well, obviously you'll find out.
Mm-hmm.
The media has to you. Black boys can be gentle. If you're looking for some black boy joy, I got you, don't worry. Today I'm going to be discussing Pixar's Loop. So if you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share if you care. Let's get to it. And if
What is
just
she? I can barely understand her.
Yeah. Okay, so she filmed an intro, and that was like her stock intro, so now she's actually doing the video.
Yeah, it was like visual whiplash right there.
So what? What is she saying? Okay, anyway.
That's a really weird makeup.
Well,
I don't like that eyeshadow.
you know what? She's a girl, she's young, she could have fun with her face. I don't care. Whatever. Let's listen to her.
you didn't know what now, I Dream of Wiley is now available on Patreon for $8.
Okay.
You get early access to I Dream of Wiley videos. You get to support I Dream of Wiley and keep the lights on.
I Dream of Wiley? Wiley Coyote?
Wiley Coyote?
Yeah.
Dr. Wiley?
Dr. Wiley, yes.
I Dream of Dr. Wiley. Damn you, Mega Man! I thought you said I Dream of Whitey. I'm like, oh shit, that's not good. Okay. Anyway.
Oh my god.
And also, you get access to the I Dream of Wiley Discord group. So if you can support me on Patreon, that's awesome. If you can't, no problem. But if you can, make sure you follow me on Patreon. The link will be in the description box. Thank you so much. Let's go.
Shameless plug.
So that was two
Oh,
plugs.
that's her name.
That was two plugs. That was like an intro plug and then please give me money plug. And I'm just going to have a different outfit, different makeup maybe. Who knows? This is amazing. Holy crap. All right, TikTok. Oh my god.
Also, all these listed is literally the same username. What's even the point?
Also, if you go to her links in the description, they don't exist, or some of them don't exist anymore. So, my cosplay social media spam account. Whereas Instagram, it doesn't exist. It's weird. It's weird stuff. Anyway, whatever. She's figuring it out. She's having fun. Cool.
So, Loop, y'all. Loop is everything. I think that Loop will be
Loop is everything? Technically, a loop does go round and round, and it goes everywhere.
What the?
Okay, so she is not an autist. I can tell you that.
Are you
right off.
sure?
Yes.
Oh.
No, I don't believe you, Wisp. Shut up.
Okay, stay in your fantasy world if you want.
There's something going on with her. I don't know if it's autism yet.
Yes, there is something going on with her, but it's not autism.
Oh.
No, I don't believe you. Nope.
I don't believe you.
I can tell you later what I think is going on, but it's not
You
autism.
gotta give me a better argument for that.
We haven't figured it out yet. It's going to take some time.
I think Wisp
This screams one specific thing, but go on.
All right.
Keep believing.
One of
Keep
the
your
great
faith.
mysteries of the world.
Let's go.
really good choice. Anyone who really enjoyed Netflix's Canvas, or if you really enjoyed Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I think you will like it. Because it just shows, like, positive black
What
representation.
the hell does Spider-Man Spider-Verse to do
because
with-
it's
much
just
more
regarded
less-
as like a better like black representation, even though Miles Morales is just a mixed kid. So technically, he isn't fully black. He is a Puerto Rican and black. If I recall,
He is what the SJW needs him to be.
Oh.
yes.
Okay.
Just
Yeah, but
like
Miles is an actual good character.
I don't...
Yeah, in Spider-Verse,
in that
at least,
movie. In
like,
that
what I've
movie.
seen, he's
Wait. How long are the episodes in the Spider-Verse series?
It's just a movie, right?
Oh, it's a
Only one
movie. Okay, so
Yeah.
she's comparing a movie that's animated, has a black dude in it, to a 9-minute film with a black girl in it. That's
Yeah.
wow. Thanks.
No.
Racist.
It's a black guy. It's a black guy. The girl looks Hispanic, maybe.
Isn't the girl with the autism, or is it the guy with the autism?
The girl has the autism,
Yeah. Okay.
The girl, yeah.
and it's low functioning autism, not high functioning
Yeah.
autism.
Okay. I guess they're so
Low
alike.
functioning autism. Holy shit.
Yeah, superhero Spider-Man and low functioning autism girl. Okay, that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
And that's why.
Anyway, Kyle Rocket, thanks for the donation. $1. Why am I looking at an even more ratchet version of Kimberly from the Parkers? Oh, God.
I have no idea.
She's
what that
young, okay? She's trying her makeup out. That's all she's doing. She's fine.
is. Oh, and Siege said something interesting in the chat. He says, "Rep used to mean reputation. Reputation is more important than representation.
I agree.
Shortening things just confuses people who don't know the lingo." It's a good point.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
Reputation
point. with this one.
is almost everything to some jobs, some people. And if you have bad associations or bad reputation with your clients, you pretty much are done in the industry. So you always, no matter what your job is, whatever your contract is, so long as your client walks away happy, that is what you want. So anyway,
But yeah, that they use confusing shorthand is a problem. Yeah.
anyway, Matthew Valente. Hey, Matthew, how you doing, buddy? Pixar is overrated. You know what? I think they're pretty good. I like them. I'm not.
When they can do
At least
things
they're
on their
moving
own, when they can do their own stuff
Yeah.
without Disney telling them you must have this in your movie and this in your movie, and you need to explain everything as if all the watches are retards.
Yeah,
Then the Pixar movie isn't that great.
compared
But
to.
you see Pixar's real capabilities in the short films and in the intro of Up. That's basically a Pixar short film.
Yeah.
Watch the intro of Up and judge Pixar by that. That is what they would do if they had completely free reign.
I always look at
Pixar,
the quality of.
Pixar's only really had one dud, and it's Cars 2.
Okay.
Wait a minute, Cars 2 is shit.
Cars is not for everyone, though. Like, the whole series is not for everyone. So you have to appreciate the content. Like, not everyone likes Frozen, right? It's a worldwide hit. I get it, but not everyone likes it for whatever reason. They don't like the singing. They don't like the story. But
Oh, Sims is so bad.
comparing Pixar to like ILM or even anime when they use 3D, it's probably better as a whole when you look at the entire industry.
Mhm.
ILM is amazing. There's no
I
question.
mean, ILM doesn't make content per se; they just make the effects.
Exactly. They are specific to making something look good, like a polishing something to add something to something that already exists. The same way anime or 2D anime has 3D inside of it sometimes. And then you have full 3D anime. We have like that crazy berserk stuff, which is not very good at times. So Pixar is consistently high quality stuff, at least visually. Story-wise, you could argue that. Content-wise, you might not like the stories or the depictions of the stories, the rendering of the stories. But visually...
Even in stories, they still have a decently high batting average.
Right. And these are designed for kids, and which is very hard to do, to make child entertainment that can work for adults or can have content that adults can appreciate at least is tough. So I would...
I mean, hey, that is the whole fundamental philosophy of Disney in the first place.
Yes, but you're not early on. I think only in the 90s and later with, they did Aladdin.
Especially early on. Like that was the whole like motivating drive behind Disney and the 9 Old Men back in the day.
Well, when you're talking about the originals, yes. and then they
The
had
originals, yeah.
and then they had to go the sweet and sour route with Pinocchio and all the like the Little Mermaid, all these nursery rhyme stories. That they
The
brought
Renaissance, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the time periods are, but
Well, like it was like very late '80s and almost all the '90s was the Disney Renaissance
right,
with the
those
movies.
were all pretty safe. And then you get into Aladdin, you get Robin Williams in there, and he's running off the cuff. He's doing all kinds of fun stuff, and they're just eating it up. Apparently, I don't know if you guys watched any of the documentaries with Robin Williams. Yeah, he had some problems with the studio, but he had hours of jokes they couldn't use. So all the riffs.
He was good.
Yeah, he was having such a great time. So, but that's Robin Williams, and thankfully we do have other great Pixar films to watch outside of Aladdin or outside of Disney. Anyway, it's a good studio. I'm glad they're still around.
Yep.
When Loop, compared to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, it features a strong black lead who is just very kind, chilled, and laid back. Really amazing.
No comparison,
So if you
moving
didn't
on.
know, Loop is a short that is about Marcus, who is canoeing at his campsite.
I think my computer
But before he gets to canoe, like he normally does, his canoeing instructor or camp instructor actually asks him to go out into the lake with a young woman named Renee. Now, Renee is a person with nonverbal autism, and Marcus is really hesitant to take the trip with Renee because he doesn't really know much about her, and he realizes that she has the potential to become very excited, so he's a little bit worried and he's a little bit unsure of himself. What I really love about this short is that, again, we're getting so much diversity. We're getting a person with nonverbal...
What? You have 3 characters in this movie. 3! The Boy Scout leader, who has a line, I think. The boy, who does most of the talking. And the girl. And their races don't matter to the story at all. They're completely irrelevant.
Nope. For me, it's like the only important thing about the movie is it's like first thing I see is like, is this color spectrum like appealing to my eyes? If not, then I just turn it off. I just can't see the television anymore.
Her
view on people is as superficial as her makeup.
here's a question: who remembers what Pixar movie came out in 2004?
Incredibles.
Yeah, and who's one of the most memorable characters, well-written characters in that movie?
Herbert Feuerstein.
What?
Well,
Herbert Feuerstein.
I mean, yeah, but I was gonna say, well, part of that group of like the more memorable characters is Frozone.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson.
What?
And we don't remember Frozone because of his race, because he's a black dude making the funny jokes with his accent. We remember him because he's a well-written character and he's a funny and memorable character. That alone invalidates the argument here.
I remember Mr. Incredible's boss at the company.
Same guy that played Zach in DS9, by the way.
I remember a interview that Jackson gave. Was it this year? I think he was talking about what the hell was the movie? Any of the Django Unchained, I think, was the one. Any of the films by that director. Even though he plays these really wild and passionate fellow, they're always done respectfully. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, it could be played by anyone, but because of the time period, it's like, okay, I need an angry black man, or I need a well-to-do dude, or whatever. Like, all his roles are respectful. That's what he said, and that's why he said the director could never be racist, because he put so much effort into shaping the character for him. And and it doesn't have to be black. It doesn't have to be this or that. But because of the like for Django, because of the time period and the setting, it's like, yeah, well, you should have a guy like that in there. So it doesn't have to, though. Same with Incredibles 2. They didn't have to do the same character again, but people loved him, so brought it back.
I mean, he was fine in the sequel too. I'll be honest.
Oh, here's Matthew Valente again. Thanks for the 5. Pixar is overrated. Their movies are too child-friendly and do not take enough risks. All right, that's a fair argument. But that's kind of the problem with any genre. You have to be careful of what you're making it for. And with kids' movies, you got to be super careful. So
Pixar so it's an American company that's making soft child movies. Okay.
I mean,
this is not Studio Ghibli, which makes child movies with gore.
Right.
I mean, mind you, Pixar is the foundation of Pixar is built on making risks. Like, the whole reason why they're making movies to this day is because they took the risk of all risks and made a fully 3D animated movie with the original Toy Story.
And if you guys remember, late 90s, they had the best things they had was SGI machines. And when they render something, even in 2000, was it 2003 when they came out with Incredibles, or they were building Incredibles, it took like a year.
Yeah. 04, yeah.
Yeah, it took like a year to render all the scenes. There was one scene where he pulls his skin tight suit a bit. I can't remember. It took 3 months to render this 4-second scene or whatever it was to make it look right. So
let alone all the time it took for them to take a few base humanoid models outside of the regular cast, and then just try to take those couple of basic models and try to make a whole like 100 or so people that look almost completely different from one another. That took a lot of time too.
So they're taking a big bet on all their hardware and their time to build. Nowadays, it's a little safer because we have such amazing GPUs these days. They're really pushing the limit. But it's still a lot of time to bake, to render those videos. And if there's a slight problem, they got to go and redo it all. Mm-hmm. And it's not easy. It takes time. So,
and lest we forget, that's exactly what happened with Toy Story 2. It almost didn't happen because they lost almost the entire movie, and then one person that was working from home had like the biggest backup that anyone had up to that point of the movie. And if it weren't for that, we wouldn't have that movie.
Yeah, it becomes a discipline in computer science that rule number 1 is always have a backup. And this guy was just being studious and bringing his work home with him. And
no, it was actually a woman. She was was out of the office it was because she was on pregnancy leave, and they actually gave her the means to keep working on the movie.
Awesome. See, this is a philosophy I've had all throughout my career. It's like, if you can work from home, I can save you time and money, and I can save myself time and money because I'm not taking my car or the bus or whatever, and I can get done stuff faster. So ever since the early 2010s, people have been having like once a week or once a month work from home, and as a result of COVID, it's been almost 100%. And people are waking up, hey, we got to save money. How do we do that? Oh, right. Stop renting out a downtown floor of a building.
I think companies were super afraid of forever because they feared just people wouldn't work if they don't come to work. People wouldn't, or data would be compromised, and well, that is always the case. It's just a different type of environment.
Now,
I'm working from home right now. I'm making like close enough to the numbers I've made in the office up to this point. So it's obviously because of adjusting, but overall, I'm still doing roughly the same amount of work anyway.
Yeah, it depends on the leadership. Like ours are like extremely strict, even though like during COVID, like they had like no choice. But now they just like really heavy on the fact that like you have to be there because like some of the bosses are just more traditional.
In some cases, yeah.
There is a point to having live meetings once in a while, but in general, the cubicle stuff, there's jobs where it does make more sense, but there are others where it's just bullshit.
All right, let's keep going. Here's Kyle Rocket. Kyle's being a little mean here, but okay. I got to roast her. Her head is a perfect oval, bro. Bitch looked like she trying to be Nicki Minaj. If she fused with the Oompa Loomp from Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory, Nitch got a burnt popcorn pom-pom on her head. F out of here. Okay. And the second one. In all seriousness, I'm surprised none of the Cryberries try to cancel the women in Pixar movies for how fat they asses be. Most women have dump trucks. Pixar women have monster trucks. I think that's part of the appeal of the cartoony style. That there's exaggeration.
Isn't there like one short? I don't remember if it was Pixar or someone else, but it was like the one short where the one lady at the beach where she had a dump truck ass, and if people complain about that, even though the main character's head is a fucking cube.
Well, I do think there's a good way to exaggerate every art style, and that's a caricature, and that's totally fine. And
Yeah, it is. It's like the stupid people are inevitably going to crop up regardless.
yeah, I know. Head sizes,
let's keep going.
hip size, bust size, it's all like, oh, it's too big. It's like, that's the point.
That's kind of the point. Yeah.
I like it. Let's keep going. It's a kid's show. Come on. Think clean thoughts.
Autism in a leading role. Where they do that at? Like, it needs to be done more, but Pixar took the step
Why?
to do it, so
Yeah,
I'm
why?
really amazed at that. I'm happy for that.
Who cares?
Renee is like,
I disagree. Like, there's like Goku if you want like an autistic alien
There you
representation.
go. He's very good at fighting.
All he cares about is fighting and eating.
Yeah.
And family is like, how do I do this?
How does family work? What are kids? What are those?
What is
Yeah.
kissing?
Yeah, but at the same time, he's super friendly and all. And
How do
Of
weddings
course,
work?
like an autistic person.
yeah,
Yeah, no, that explains so many things. He's just completely focused on two things, and that's about it. Everything else means nothing to him. Anyway,
Like whenever like Goku is put in a situation where he needs to like do some everyday stuff, like Chi-Chi is like losing her fucking mind about it.
Yeah, but he does it just fine.
Yeah, of course. But like Goku is like, oh, how do I do this? A job interview? No, I gotta
Can't
go
I
and
just
find
punch
some
things?
guy.
I mean, he ended up being a decent enough farmer in Super.
Of course, yeah.
just can't I
literally
just shoot
making all the funny things.
planet crushing energy blasts from my hands?
I mean, well, no, he's not that nuts about it. But
well,
But it would that he knows how to do that. Why do I need why do I need to cook?
can you imagine him being in a professional boxing? Like, he just stand there and just throw.
I mean, yeah, well, Deb mentioned this quick. It's like they're going off of like the whole keep all the like the super fighting, like super powered stuff a secret. And I'm just like, why? That is literally the point there. They're trying to keep all this nutty shit from Z all the way to today as like, no. It's like, let it out. Just, who cares at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, she used the forbidden word. No.
So she wasn't actually
No.
saying this. I don't know where it came from though.
She's just referring to the girl, and yeah, she's using the brain dead words that nobody wants.
Latinx.
Latin.
Hey, black woman, the Latinos and Latinas do not like this stupid X thing.
We don't. We fucking don't.
Oh right, I forgot you.
No, let me just say, you people like you butcher our language by doing this, madam.
Very little cojones and
Feel free- No cojones whatsoever. Whatsoever. It's like you and everyone like you that uses these words go to fucking hell. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, she loves her some representation. Okay, that's great.
She loves some tokenism and glorification of illnesses and such.
Stereotypes are delicious. I love them too. Okay.
next. And then we also have Marcus, who is black, and I'm not sure whether or not he was like Black American or Afro-Latino, but either way, black
What?
representation.
Oh my God, he's black. We don't know what kind of black, but either way, it's okay. Oh fuck. Jesus. Look at his skin, guys.
But we're the racists.
Does it even matter? What does it have to do with anything? Oh my God.
What he is the most important. So, what are the relevant attributes for this story of the characters? It's not even that it's a boy and a girl. Even that is irrelevant
Yeah.
in this because it's not a love story.
And the girl
It's just two kids.
doesn't
it's
talk.
two kids. This could be two boys. This could be two girls.
could be two
This could
aliens
be
for all I know. Yeah.
all reversed. Same story. Has no the sexes have no bearing on the story. The races have no bearing on
Yeah.
the
In
story.
fact, I think I like the stories with aliens and robots and cool, weird environments that you can just do whatever you want and you don't have to worry about all this representation bullshit. You just do fun stories with
That's part of the reason why the Toy Story stuff and some of the monster stuff. That's among some of the more memorable products from the company in the first place.
cars and robots and it's fun stuff. Do the fun stuff.
They always experiment with that. They didn't just stick with like humans all the way to today after the Incredibles. No, they kept doing some of the wacky shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they were all the better for it.
And Wall-E was in that direction. There's
WALL-E was
until we get to the
fantastic movie.
humans. There's no
There's no dialogue.
yeah. Not even a monologue.
It's
There's
just
nothing. It's just pictures.
that right there. That first act is literally the textbook definition of show don't tell.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's just
great.
I couldn't believe I sat in the cinema and I was just watching a movie and it wasn't just babbling at me all the time. It was a kids movie. Just watch. If the only problem was that there was a class of I don't know, second graders behind me, but aside from that,
And
wonderful.
it was that was pretty much the first 10 minutes of Up. If it were the entire first act.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's why I love that.
And it was before, by the way.
Yeah. Well, that's why I love the intro to Up so much. It's the prologue. That thing functions as its own movie. And when I first watched that, sadly didn't see it in the cinema. When I first watched that, after that I paused and left the room. Just did something else, something quiet. And I only came back to the movie hours later to watch the rest of it, the then normal kids movie. But that first part,
It's fantastic.
it's fantastic. It is actually dense. It is emotional. The animation to convey emotion is just brilliant. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I honestly would not be surprised if that act would actually its own short, but they eventually decided to make it a whole movie. I would not be surprised if that's what happened. That movie.
The whole movie is just it is the what's the right word here? The old man is finishing the adventure his wife wished for.
Voiced by Ed Asner, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Asner was the best part of that movie, hands down. As Carl.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The old man, yeah. It was great. But anyway, let's go back to the video.
All right.
Siege in the chat. You're on the right track there. Well, let's go on.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And what we really get to see in this short is these two children or these two teenagers work through their differences. Honestly, it's all this short is about.
No,
What
they
I
don't
really
work on the
love
differences.
Is that this short normalized feeling unsure, feeling insecure. Marcus is put into a new environment. He doesn't know how to handle the situation.
It's not unsure, he's confused.
That he won't know how to handle the situation correctly, or that he won't be able to communicate with Renee effectively.
Marcus, you're late.
I know. My phone died, and then... Oh, I can catch up with him, no problem. Just let me take the skimmer out.
Hey, you're with Renee today.
That girl who doesn't talk?
Yeah. She loves canoeing too.
Doesn't she always go with you? How am I gonna...
Just say hi.
Hey. I'm Marcus.
He is fearful of being discomforted, and he is fearful of making Renee discomforted by his actions. So can we normalize in society feeling discomfort around new situations that pertain?
What does that mean? Normalize being discomforted.
What?
I have no idea what she just said. I don't think she knows yet.
None of this is exclusive.
She can't even speak English properly. I don't know if she knows what she's saying.
Every kid who's in a new scenario at that age is young and shy. for the most part, until they grow out of
Yeah.
their shyness. So
That's just life.
Mm-hmm. It's every human. Well, most of them. Vast majority.
Vast majority of people at that age, yes,
Yeah.
they're all. Any kid is going to feel like that in that
some
situation.
kids,
This is normal behavior.
yeah, some kids, you get the rare one who's like just open with everyone and just stupidly friendly with everything. It's like, okay, kid, you got to watch yourself a little bit more. But, but in most cases, kids are kind of like, what the hell's that? What? Go away. Who are you?
Yeah. You know, the one of the most mind-numbing epiphanies you'll have in your life is that when you realize all the embarrassment and insecurity you felt because you thought you don't know what's going on, but everyone else does, is when you realize, oh, that was the case for everyone.
Oh, everyone goes through this. Okay.
Oh, while I thought that everyone else had figured it out, they were as lost as I was. Huh.
We could say every
Why
discussion.
was I so stupid and insecure? I could just have had fun.
We could say every discussion that you have a disagreement or you're not sure what the other person's saying is, well, you're just working out your differences, trying to communicate. It's like, no, you're just talking. You're just saying stuff, and maybe there's a conflict. Maybe you want something and they're in the way. There's all kinds of problems that could happen. It's not a difference. Maybe it's a difference of opinion, but the topic could be something that the other person's not talking about. So they're talking over each other. There's lots of cases of dialogue where it's not a difference of opinion or difference of ideals or virtues, or one can talk English, the one can talk Japanese or whatever. Like, that's a very strange thing to say, just because one person has a speech problem and the other one's just trying to communicate. That's not quite working out differences. I don't see that exactly. Anyway, here is James Saint Spurg. Okay. Normalize this, normalize that. It's high time these niggas started acting normal. Okay, when it comes to animated properties starring black characters, you ain't gonna beat HBO Spawn, so don't even bother. Oh God. HBO Spawn, the animated one, I imagine.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, working out the differences in the Spawn show. Bullets, I guess, and being impaled. That's one way to do it in hell. Or being eaten too, I guess.
Sawing
Anyway,
off someone's neck with a chain.
yeah, there's all kinds of working out your differences in hell. They get creative down there. Anyway,
To people with disabilities. Can we normalize that? Or
normalize. What does that mean? What are you normalizing? What is?
I think it was like part of her last sentence, but I'm still not sure like why she wants to normalize these things. These
I don't think she
situations
can-
have its uniqueness to it, so you can't really like do any of those things.
Yeah, I don't think she could explain us what she means with the term normalize.
You know, if there were people with speech impediments or disabilities in business, that'd be a first for me. I've never encountered that. It is possible, but when you're in business, you are on the ball. You are constantly making money. You're trying to cut the deal. You cannot be slow. So maybe there's an environment for her where it is normal and slow. I'm sure that's a thing, but not in my professional career. So anyway, I don't know what she's getting at, but this is her language. We're learning, I hope. Something.
normalize feeling discomfort around new things and new places and new people. The fear that is associated and the negative actions that are associated with this discomfort.
The negative actions, yes, okay. Being discomfort is
Okay. She thinks it is not that it's. God, how do I rephrase that from this
maybe
nonsense?
if she learns some psychology, she would use the proper terms like neuroticism or openness to experience, or I don't know, something.
She seems to think it is not normal that discomfort is felt around new situations, or can be felt in new situations, changed and baffling and maybe stunning. But her issue seems to be from the choice of words that she thinks it is always seen as negative when people encounter these new things. That reactions of caution or disdain or disgust even are inherently wrong in some way.
Well, my problem is, why are we
But the
learning?
thing is that
Why are we
that
learning?
insecurity makes you cautious,
Why
and
are
that
we-
it makes you not want to make mistakes.
Why are we learning from the perspective of someone with a speech problem or has autism? Like, what does that teach us? Like, just me. Like okay, so someone is scared with a guy trying to fist bump you. Okay. And what do I normalize from that? That people are weird? People are different? They communicate differently? Yes, that's true.
We're already overcoming that with seeing past prejudices.
Right. So people have different ways of
And
communicating.
that is universal.
Yeah, so
That's universal.
if she wants to communicate with her smartphone, then that's fine. But the other guy has to comply and actually, care to do that. So
And he has to figure out how her communication works in the first place.
yeah,
It's basically with the communication with this low functioning autist is similar to getting lost in the woods and finding a tribe, and they're speaking a completely different language.
yeah. But the concept of having a normalization is not my problem. It's the person with the speech problem. So all you're saying is, well, if she uses her smartphone, you also have to use a smartphone. It's like, yeah, that's fine. If the tribe uses Chinese, guess what? I got to learn Mandarin or something to communicate. I can't have them change for me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not normalizing her discomfort. We're not normalizing a negative emotion. That's weird. What does that even mean? We just want to communicate effectively.
Yeah, you want to communicate with the low functioning autistic girl, you have to go down to her level, not force her up to yours. That's the simple thing, because she is at that stage not able to communicate in any other way. And if you had experience with those kinds of people, you'd know that.
Yeah. Plus, this is a child. Like they're naturally going to be a bit
Yeah.
hesitant with everything. So teachers know this. Like she's like, oh, by the way, you should communicate properly. It's like, yeah, thanks. I think. At least I hope she's.
People
trying
are
to say
just maybe she has a problem with people telling those with apprehension in new situations, get over it, and that's what she has a problem.
Oh
with,
yeah,
maybe.
she was bashing on the person with the problem.
No, she was being told get over it.
Oh.
So she wants to normalize just feeling like shit and never getting over it.
Okay. Anyway.
Might be something.
Acceptable. But can we get to the base and normalize the discomfort?
What does that mean? Get to the base and
No,
normal.
you overcome the discomfort. Don't normalize it.
She doesn't even want to be touched. She won't even fist bump a guy. She doesn't want to be comforted.
No, that's because that's the wrong use of comfort in this case. She doesn't want to be touched because touch for her is pain. Autists are hypersensitive on most senses. It's a bit different for each one, which is spiking more, but it's pretty universal that especially light touch for an autist is irritating to the point of pain. So you can't hug an autist. That's just without the autist explicitly making clear, yeah, it's okay, and it's okay with you. It's more that you need to build that up. You can't just do a random, oh, we're friends now, hug, random, and the autist will just go into panic mode. That can go bad really, really quickly. Because you're essentially overwhelmed and in pain in that moment, physical pain. It's nothing to do with not wanting to be comforted. Maybe you want to be comforted, but there's this barrier that you yourself can't do anything about. It's why autists tend to do well with tough hugs from people that they are comfortable with already. You need the trust level first. You can't simply jump into the superficial game that people play.
I'm trying to remember that manga with the girl who she's a gorgeous girl. She's super smart, but she doesn't talk. She's super shy.
Komi-san.
Komi-san? Oh,
Komi-san.
She's still like that, but she's finally opening up her heart to the boy she likes.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, after
because she's not autistic. She's just sociophobe.
Yeah. So it's all comedy, but there's a lot of romance in there too. So
it's very cute.
It's cute, yeah. The whole family's weird though. The dad, the mom, the dad goes on the date with the son. Like, what the fuck? Why?
Oh! Imagine a crossover between Komi-san and Yotsubato.
No, I don't wanna.
I don't know. Anyway, whatever this girl's I'm losing her train of thought here. I'm not sure what she's trying to tell us.
I don't think she's sure what she's trying to tell us.
Yeah.
Because I think it's true. Marcus knows Renee. He's been around Renee. But he doesn't know what to do when he's alone with Renee or when he is canoeing with Renee. He doesn't know the best ways to effectively communicate with Renee.
That's any person ever. That's fine.
And that is normal for someone who hasn't been in close spaces with someone who has autism or another learning disability or any type of disability.
Does she want everyone to be like a healthcare worker or something and just like communicate to everyone on the same level? Like, why?
Seemingly, yeah.
Well, this story here, you can only really play that in a fictional thing. In real life, it would be utterly neglectful of I am looking for the other word. But of the what this was, Boy Scout leader, youth leader, whatever, youth instructor, to just put the random kid together with the low functioning autist into a canoe on a lake, where she could easily drown if she falls out of the canoe. Because if she has a fit, and she will have a fit in that scene, in that little time, he's not going to be there in time in the middle of the lake to do anything. It's highly irresponsible is the word I'm looking for. So in reality, the situation would not come to pass unless the adult is a complete douchebag. Because you need proper instructions. You need to know how does this low functioning autistic girl work. What can you do? What must you not do? Because the things that you must not do will cause her to overload and act out, not because she wants to, but because she is so overloaded that she can't handle what's going on around her anymore. And all the sensory input it gets too much. It's just lost in pain, essentially. And it's not the best thing to happen when you're on a lake in a canoe, and the only other person who could do anything is another kid who's so overwhelmed by the situation. Whether he does the right thing or not is not likely. And because it's a Pixar movie with a happy ending, yeah, he does the correct things, but that's it. In a real situation, this is over. There's going to be someone drowning.
All right, here's Matthew Valente for the 10. Thank you, sir. Pixar could be more adult and edgy. Just because they're kid movies does not mean they cannot take risks. I also hated Soul, Ratatouille. Ratatouille. I don't know what Ratatouille is.
Oh, dare you.
And Incredibles 2, the latter of which was an SJW film. Okay.
Incredibles 2, really?
I have no idea.
Well, the story about the mother, the mom's story isn't really going anywhere. Is the main problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't think it's because it's SCW. I'm pretty sure it's as simple as movie 1 was the dad, movie 2 was the mom, plain and simple.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could do a mom story that works, and this one didn't.
I'm just hoping movie 3 is about the kids finally.
Well, from what I saw of Ratatouille, I thought it was a pretty good message. Looked kind of fun. kind of simple. Wasn't that complicated?
It was okay. Incredibles 2
pretty
was
good.
kind of forced because they literally didn't go anywhere. They just like redid the same fucking thing as the first movie
Yeah.
almost.
Unfortunately, yeah, but on its own, it's still pretty decent.
Soul is a mixed bag because it's how much backbone does the guy have to leave his job and do something else, and then the crazy story with going and giving his soul to someone else and getting it back. You're like, okay, it's a bit weird.
Just leave the Matrix.
Go to hell.
It's pretty much the Soul is pretty much the Matrix, but with magic.
Yeah. Anyway,
It's just
4 minutes in, we're doing okay. We're just pausing and going, what the frickin' hell is she talking about?
or just a new situation in general with someone who is different from oneself. That is normal. And what I love in this short is that they
Yes, it is normal to meet people. That's true. That's fine.
That's why you are prejudiced too against people.
What is this weird desire to get everyone to talk to everyone? Like, why would you want to do that?
I think it's I call this harmony addiction.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's also and the other I'm sorry for using so weird words, my brain's just fried. The other expression or manifestation of harmony addiction, and where I for myself coined the term, is with people who are emotionally immature, who cannot deal with anyone having a problem, including having an argument about benign things that you just want to solve.
Well,
and they will force the people in the room having the argument, even if that person just came into it, will force the other people to sweep the problem under the rug, because that this person is not interested in solving the problem, only in not having to recognize its existence.
right.
And by pretending that nobody is arguing anymore, means to them there's no problem anymore.
Well, in psychology, we always have this sort of not a scholastic look at people, but sort of a scientific mentality. So that we always say there's always a personality with another personality, but sometimes two do not get along so well. And we say this with relationships as well. You say you just have not found the right person to talk to, because some people just will not treat other people well, or they'll be too slow or be too fast or whatever. So there is someone out there for everyone, but not everyone gets along. So there's this weird desire to pair people up for no reason and see what happens. It's like, oh, you should learn to do that. It's like, no, this person's a jerk, has dumb ideas, and won't shut up about one thing. Why would I want to talk to them? There's no reason to. There's no...
Yeah. Let's pair up the sheep, the goat, the wolf, the eagle, the bear, and the snake.
Yeah, you don't do that.
And the chicken and the fox all together, and they all have to get along now.
Yeah,
especially
And
the
they're not
snake.
allowed to fight and not allowed to eat each other.
it's like playing a game. Not everyone wants to play chess, believe it or not. They don't like it. But
Yeah, some people like to play Go.
yeah, or
And then get thrown out by their parents for daring to play Go.
or they want to run around outside, and that's totally cool too. So this weird desire that every personality has to get along with everyone else. Like no, they don't. You can have enemies. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Oh, and there's personality types that if you put them together, they will always end in an abusive relationship.
well, hopefully
It's-
we don't get into that, but I want to see where this philosophy of hers is going to conclude, because it's like, why is this important?
Just makes her feel good.
I guess.
So I think that in society it's just a huge problem where people are shamed for not knowing or feeling unsure,
No, we're not. We don't give a shit.
feeling discomfort. It is normal to feel discomforted for something new. It is normal.
Oh my God.
But in Marcus discovering something new, that doesn't mean that he has to mistreat the new person or the person that he's unfamiliar
Is he mistreating her? I don't
No.
think so. They're
No,
on a
he's
boat
not.
together. You know that parable with the scorpion and the frog? It's like, if you do anything... Sorry?
Did she say he's mistreating her?
Let me rewind that.
Or implying that?
I don't know.
discovering something new, that doesn't mean that he has to mistreat the new person or the person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
He's not-
I think she said it in a neutral manner.
But that's
meant
not the
to
point of the
neutral
story.
manner.
He's not going to do that. He never did that. So what's the point?
Yeah.
that he's unfamiliar or mistreat the person who's also put in the same situation of feeling discomforted. And that's what I love about this short. So basically the whole entire time they're trying to figure each other out.
What did you just say? Was that a word?
Short.
Can you please go back to school and learn proper English? You are the fuck. English is your first language. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Why do I, a German, get complimented for my English despite, well, the accent? But you are completely incomprehensible. You just make noise that go woof, woof, woof. And I'm supposed to figure out there's a word that Cthulhu-esque nonsense? I don't have tentacles in my mouth to make the sounds you're making.
Yeah, Cthulhu.
Go back to fucking school. Go to some logopedic or whatever you call it in English. Someone who teaches you to not lisp. Well, you're not lisping, but you just we call this nuscheln in German. It's an onomatopoetic expression.
You can't just say that argument without.
It's slurring
Yeah,
the words.
Yes, slurring. Yes, thank you. Just
Yeah, get a fucking dialogue coach.
All right.
My
Fucking
biggest problem
hell.
is that like she begins a sentence and then like she skips to the other point that she has without finishing the other one. It's just it's so difficult.
She's a
to follow.
scatterbrain.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Marcus tried to paddle the canoe and try different brush strokes or paddle strokes. Renee does not like them. They kind of give her anxiety. So he works his way through Renee.
No. You're misinterpreting. You're completely misinterpreting what's going on. Because you don't know shit about autism, you fucking pretentious asshole! Her problem is that she wants to go to a certain place. She's not interested in the other kids where they're going. She's interested in that little island crop out thing with the toilets on it. Seemingly. Seems like it. Well, actually she wants to play with the reeds that are sticking out of the water there. Because it turns out she gives him she shows him an emoji on her phone, which is a little shit. Which implies, oh, she wants to go to the place with the shit houses. But she isn't taking a shit. She just wants to play with the reeds. So here there you see the communication thing. However, with the brush strokes, where he uses the paddle to move around, that's too much going on for her. Too much sensory input. That's her problem. And him talking, especially when he gets flustered, because she gets a little over the top. So she starts to get a little overwhelmed, which makes him panic a bit, which then escalates it back and forth. That's what's happening. It's not that she doesn't like the different types of paddle strokes. She doesn't care what kind of paddle strokes he does. She doesn't care about the paddling. It's too loud, it's too much weird movement, and he's talking all the time. She's overwhelmed. You do not understand autists, you borderline insane idiot. And this is why you need to keep hyper-emotional people with no brains, with no rationality, away from autists. Because they will mess up everything. They will make everything worse because they have absolutely no idea how an autistic brain functions. Because an autist mainly functions, even if it doesn't look like that to you from the outside, an autistic brain functions primarily on rational thought, on logic. People like her, there's no logic inside. How are you supposed to communicate between these two, especially when you can't even use words?
well, her only message I've gotten so far from the video is she wants everyone to communicate to everyone, including the autists, which they don't want to communicate to everyone. They don't want to communicate at all, actually, to anyone. They're happy in their own little world. So you might argue, well, we want to help them out, get them to learn more.
Some do want to communicate,
that's true.
but they have to figure out a way to do that right. And
you don't want.
But this is not the case here. This girl is completely fine with her listening to a little sound that her smartphone makes.
Yeah, like some people are just comfortable with other people, even the autists. So would you want a specialist who deals with this, or do you want random everyone else? Give a shot. Can we turn that lock and open up the door? Probably not. You need someone who knows what they're doing.
And she's the type of girl that, if nobody told her that do not randomly hug the autist, and people like her may even do that anyway, that she will cause absolute pain, make everything absolute worse, make everything nuclear. Yeah. But she lives in a world where she would just be, oh, but you're in pain, you're in trouble, you're so agitated. Let me comfort you. Because she only thinks in how her mind works. She cannot imagine how another person's mind works. Especially something that's so different as an autistic mind. Completely different needs, completely different, because it's not simply about different needs. It's about the world, seeing and perceiving and interacting with the world in a completely different way.
I think once the avenue has been made, then you could say, okay, now that they have a manner or a pathway to communicate, then you say, okay, let's get another person who knows how to communicate in that manner to her, and then we just keep going. That would help it. But not just everyone all at once, or just random people. Just that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and you can't expect every person on the planet, or even just in your country, to be able to communicate with this level of autist.
Plus, there's a lot of people who don't.
I'm sorry, that's not.
They just
and that is just simply not. This kind of autism is such a minority. That's simply not feasible. It's okay to have general knowledge somewhere, like, okay, there's autists, don't overwhelm the autists, if you know that, and that's enough.
I'm wondering if these two people were not black or Hispanic or whatever, they were just Asian and I don't know, Singaporean, whatever.
If they were white, you wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah, I wonder if she would even say anything. Autism is awesome, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, whatever.
No, it's not. It can be interesting, but most of the time, for most artists, it's a bit hellish.
It's a curse.
Well, and since that's an actual spectrum, you have a missing of curse and blessing. And that can go all the way from 99 to 1 ratio to 199. There are high functioning autists who have almost no trouble in life. No one suspects them of being autistic, and they tend to have quite well paying jobs. And they don't have to deal with hard detriments like sensory overstimulation or lack of a sensory filter. Because that is what a lot of autists have to deal with. It's just one aspect of it, because that's something you can imagine. Like, imagine you have a constant hangover. When you have a hangover, sounds are too loud for you usually, and you can't really concentrate on several people talking in the room. It's just giving you more of a headache, and you hear everything at the same time. That is maybe similar to your audio filter currently being offline or on standby, and that is what an autist with this issue has 24/7. You just hear everything all the time. You don't have an automatic filter where your subconscious filters out all the junk and auto-focuses on what's important. You have to do that manually, and that is exhausting. And now add that to all the other senses too.
All right. 5 minutes in. Almost half done. Hopefully she'll have more ads at the end of her video, talk about her Patreon or whatever.
Yeah, hopefully it's just ads.
and he slowly releases tension once he figures out what she likes and what she doesn't like. When he and Renee are traveling to different areas around the lake, at some point in time, Renee gets overstimulated and she has a meltdown. Can we normalize people?
First off, that already happened, you twat. The overstimulation already happened with the paddling that you mentioned. You fucking
It
idiot.
happened when we started this video.
Wait a second. Normalizing meltdowns? What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the next interesting part. Sorry, I hit the pause button too late.
Okay, so imagine you have a
It's
2-year-old and they have a hissy fit, right? Or whatever the problem is. You want to say that's okay? You want to think that's a good thing? Are you mad?
Nope.
I don't
That's
care.
That's a narcissistic meltdown, and you should get parent that out of your kid.
I don't care if you're 2 or 20. If you're doing that at any age, there's a problem. Something.
Well, if you're doing that at 20, no one ever parented that out of you.
Well,
It needs to be parented out early.
we can imagine someone who's that autistic would have certain childlike behaviors. Like, okay,
Someone autistic has completely different reasons from a narcissist having a meltdown. With an autist, it is sensory overload. It's like having a migraine or epileptic seizure, if you want to look for comparisons. A narcissist throwing a tantrum is someone who has an injury to an inflated ego, or was just told, no, you're not getting the thing, you're not going to do this, you're not going to do it again, etc. That is where a narcissist has a meltdown and can go into a tantrum and go crazy. Very different thing. Very different reason and very different manifestation.
all right.
In time, Renee gets overstimulated and she has a meltdown. Can we normalize people with autism and people with disabilities having meltdowns? Or just people in general having meltdowns?
People in general.
No.
Oh, you crazy borderline idiot bitch.
I
No.
think she's using this word, but I don't think she knows what it means.
This is what pisses me off about these crackheads. They want to use other conditions, medical issues that have certain problems, like, well, overload. To where you can, with understanding and with some instructions, have people deal with the person who currently has that. Like, okay, get the stimulus down, get the autist into a quiet room, for example. Or if you have a migraine, go into a quiet room, have the shades down, just rule out all sensory stimulus, so that the whole mental thing can come down. And but she wants to normalize, as you correctly guessed, all meltdowns. And no, that is bad, because we can't let the narcissists have their meltdowns and the borderliners, because they're irrational ass twats who want to tyrannize us with their subjective reality.
Can you imagine?
Fuck off.
Can you imagine going to like a public, any public place, and just have someone just freak out? Like, you want to just be like, no big deal. No, it's not
Like,
important.
what if there's a school shooter and they're just like shooting up everyone, and she's like, yeah, that's normal. Let them have it. Okay.
This is nuts.
This is crazy. This is
Yeah. No. When you say normalize meltdown, what it sounds like is, let the person have the meltdown and don't interfere. It's a really stupid idea. Some people have. This is what I'm talking about. Is there are people who are faking their meltdowns for attention, who fake having, who put on a drama show.
Remember that?
And they should be told, no, stop it.
There's a gif of a guy with his girlfriend. I think they're at a restaurant or something, and she's just losing her shit, and he's just sitting there like whatever. He throws his beer at her, or she throws his beer at him, and he's still like whatever. Just bother him. And they're just walking down the street, and there she's fine. She's chilled out now. I can't remember what gif that was, but I saw that on Twitter a while back. Guy does not care. He's like, yeah, women, whatever. Women are crazy. I just accept that.
They're just children. They don't grow up.
In that regard, you could say the person you love, for whatever reason, you can put up with their shit, but I don't think that's a healthy attitude. Yeah, of course. But no, that's not healthy behavior in any age. So.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's normal, human. But not only does she have her meltdown, but Marcus takes a step back, and we get to see him go through the motions. He's like, I don't know.
And see, this is the thing. This is the difference. She is completely overstimulated. That's why she's hiding under the boat. It's dark. The noise is insulated. Where she really overloaded was when he tried to show her something interesting, something nice, where he drove into it. He rode a boat into a tunnel where the acoustic was different, so that her the smartphone sound she kept looping would sound different. Sound would reverberate, echo. And first, she found that really interesting. But then, either from the echo of the sound, or as it is implied by visuals, and this girl can't read that apparently, the reflection of the water surface, of the light on the ceiling, probably is probably the final nail in the coffin that sent her into overstimulation. So if you watch the thing, she's probably not showing the scene where the pretty lights are on the ceiling and it's moving really fast and all around. And you already see, when you see the world through her eyes, it's always like in a little bit of a haze, like the edges of the screen are blurred. To imply that she sees things differently, she hears things a little differently, and it's hard for her to concentrate on certain things. So she gets, her nervous system is overstimulated. The autistic meltdown is not a thing of choice. It's not a thing about being upset. It's a thing of your nervous system being overloaded.
Yeah, so there's a big difference between psychosis, neurosis, and whatever the autist goes through. So if you're talking about a psychotic break or neurotic tendency, there's a big world of difference between those two things. Mm-hmm. And I don't think she understands the language. And this weird desire to make it like, oh, this is just part of humanity. Yeah. It's like, yeah, but that doesn't mean you accept it as a good thing. It's a negative response for the latter.
People are somewhat familiar with migraines at this point. Migraines fall into the family of epilepsy. That's the thing people don't know. It's you could say migraines are a benign is maybe the wrong word, but a very soft form of epilepsy. What an autist goes through in being overstimulated is similar to that. You just lose control over your actions because you're not. I don't know how to put this into words because it's a little different for people. Some remain more conscious of their surroundings than others, but this is basically this overstimulation meltdown is where the autistic self-hitting comes from. And that's just boxing against the head with no holding back. It's not there for show. It's not to get something. It's an emergency reaction of the body to shock the brain into stopping whatever thoughts are going on in there. That simply can't be processed because it's overloaded. It's like your Windows has a blue screen. Like, what do you do with that? Well, you hit the reset button. And this autist hitting his or her head is trying to hit the reset button. Like RAM is full, CPU is overloaded, is overheating.
Yeah.
You bam. Yeah. That's not a thing of choice.
Yeah, psychosis can occur in all kinds of different ways, whether it's actual drugs or lack of sleep or lack of food. There's we know the reasons for it. and she's
It's not a hallucination thing.
Yeah, I know, but
It's
she's
not,
mixing.
It's not psychosis.
She's mixing these all together as just people flipping out. It's like that's not the same. So
yeah, and kid not getting cookie is not even remotely in this. It's not even on the same continent.
Yeah.
Because that's not a tantrum you
I think if we,
normalize. That's a tantrum where you tell, no kid, you stop making a fucking fuss.
Yeah, I think when we ask her,
you go
what
sit
do you
on
mean?
the quiet stair.
What do you mean? She would say, oh, I don't mean like, kids throwing a fit. I mean like this. It's like, well, that's something completely different. It's not the same word you're using. So she doesn't even know the terms she's using, and she hasn't even defined it. And human behavior is a bit more complicated than that, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. So now imagine, because Siege is saying exactly the right thing in the chat. Imagine you are an autist, and this girl is in the video in the video we're covering. This girl is getting obsessed with helping you, but she's completely trapped in her delusional world where she thinks she has it all figured out and keeps pressuring herself onto you with what she thinks is best for you. That's gonna be hell. But she keeps patting herself on the back. Because what Siege said is, can you imagine what it's like for an autist being harassed by a narcissist? Pure torture, and the narcissist enjoys it. Well, not always, but the narcissist will not let go, because the narcissist has to prove to him or herself to be correct. So even when you tell the narcissist, please leave me alone, if you want to help me, really help me, leave me alone, go away, don't come back, send someone else, the narcissist won't let go, because that would be an admission of defeat and of incompetence, of not being competent and perfect. So the narcissist won't let go. I've been through that several times.
Right.
It's not fun.
Let's keep going. We're more than half done, thankfully. Oh boy.
What I'm doing? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? How do I fix this? And all in all, he allows Renee to self-soothe.
What?
Self-soothe is what she said.
Hey, Renee, I don't know what to do. I messed up.
She's essentially having a panic attack.
Wait until you tell me what you want.
And when she's ready, she effectively communicates what she needs from him to move forward. So they just go through the motions with each other. And honestly, Renee, I just love the idea of Renee. She is just another spectrum of autism. She isn't the stereotypical.
No, she is the stereotypical autist, because the vast majority of autists are low functioning. The bell curve of IQ for autists peaks at 70. You do not see these types of autists because they're all in ambulant care, I think is the term. You do not see them out in the world. You do not see a lot of them. They're all living with their parents or institutionalized. They're not out there in public. That's the fewest of them you ever see. The autists you see in public is the absolute minority, the super exceptional cases of high-functioning autists.
Yeah, Christian.
Of autists with an IQ above 100, which are already so fucking rare, which is why the autists you find all over science in STEM, you find a lot of autists there. You know why? Because the dumb autists can't make it there. Just like fruitcakes like you can't make it there. Autistic brains function differently. When you have a high-functioning autist, that fits wonderfully with science, because that is all about logic and rationality, something you lack.
Okay, well, she likes it. Yay, autists, yay, so nice. Okay, lady.
Glorification of the disabled. This is what fetishization sounds like. This is a purse puppy. The girl in the Pixar film is a purse puppy for her.
Did you say a purse puppy?
Purse puppy, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Or just like the trannies are purse puppies for the left.
Oh,
So they carry us around like, oh look, we care for the trannies, but they're not allowed to be called trannies. That's transphobic. Also, stop making noises. I'm speaking for you.
all right.
Yeah.
Person, she isn't the person who passes with their autism. She is someone who is on the spectrum, and it's just a different version of what is stereotypically shown. Like Renee, maybe.
What the fuck is stereotypically shown, you fucking retard? What we see in shows like what was the name?
Dragon
Was
Ball.
recently not Dragon Ball. Atypical. I think that was a Netflix show. It's mostly decent. You can give it a watch. It's a good depiction of an autistic kid and an interesting family story. Although personally, I would have liked the mother to stay away. But that's spoilers. But the autistic kid, he's not a wrong depiction, but he's and he acts well. The actor of the autistic main character is not autistic. He just studied autists and talked a lot with them to figure out how to play this right, and he pretty much does. So he's a mixed bag of being somewhat high functioning. It's also very artistic. He's a fantasy character, but he works well. He's interesting. The other autists in that show are real autists. And that's an interesting bit. And there you have different variants, but it's I don't think you come across the super high functioning researcher type. That is the only one that's missing. But other than that, I can recommend the show, and it takes slight jabs as SJWs in their pronoun bullshit. That's an interesting part.
Yeah.
Where do I want to go? Anyway, that's a good show. However, it doesn't show the essentially Kanna autist. I think that was the old term, which is what we see in this thing. And this was the most known type of autist back in the day, in the 90s and 2000s. Because then their autism was only dealt with clinically. The high-functioning forms of autism were, for the most part, not even recognized as that, especially not in the public eye. That's why in the 2000s, when diagnosis became more prevalent with autism, there were a lot of people in their 30s to 60s even who heard something on the radio that described, oh, this and that is autism, this is what autists go through. Thought, that sounds like my life. And got into contact with doctors. And so there were a lot of late life diagnoses during those decades, which also showed many stories of how people learn to deal with their issues, because while these autists did struggle in their lives somewhat with various things, and even if it may just be basic communication in a relationship, they had mostly normal lives and mostly normal jobs. But that's still the high functioning part of the spectrum. And this is what is usually shown today as autism. The low-functioning autist is almost never shown anymore. But this is what we see here. And since this is an idiot here, she thinks this is now an exceptional case of autism. No, it's not. It's the absolute majority of autists, which is sad. So don't go around and go spouting, oh, autism is the next level of human evolution. Well, look at the majority of low functioning autists and say that again. Because before we get this evolutionary branch, twig, leaf stable, That'll take a couple more generations, and it won't just be 5 or 10 or 20. Furthermore, to stabilize that, we require an environment that is a wonderfully stable first world. And when socialists come about, that's gonna go away very quickly. So no evolutionary step anytime soon.
Okay, let's go.
Be nonverbal, but that doesn't mean that she doesn't know how to communicate, and she does so effectively to the point where she feels comfortable in what she is describing to Marcus, and Marcus is just paying attention to her and then reading the vibes. This short was really amazing. And I also thought deeply about this short as well. It's like, why were two children put into a potentially dangerous situation?
Learn English. Okay, thanks.
To encourage inclusion? What the fuck?
That's the buzzword. That's the dogma buzzwords talking.
What does that mean?
Well, for them to grow together and accept each other.
So because they're different, it's not the best scenario because they're on a boat.
Yeah, because it's a dangerous situation. This is what I did mention earlier. But hey, it's something she realized after making the video, apparently, or she wouldn't have included these slides here in the middle.
And she could have just made another take and actually said that.
Yeah, she could. It was probably another day, so she would have had different makeup on or something.
Well, I'm glad her rational brain kicked in when she listened to her own words. You're like, oh, what do I sound like? That maybe I should say other things. Well, I'll just put some words in there.
The choice of words is just shows that this not very intelligent woman only knows the language of the socialist newspeak in order to articulate her thoughts, which has an effect back on how she thinks about things. This is where we see the newspeak working the most.
This shows me she's lazy. She couldn't just do a second take. Like, come on, you see a problem with your first take.
That's the other side.
Fix
of it.
It's
that's the video making part side of it. I'm just talking about the how her brain seems to function.
Oh God, don't.
What's hilarious for me is that like she's making it into an issue that they are being sent on this boat, even though like both of them seem to be trained for that purpose. It's just like the boy is making it out that the girl is probably not going to be too cooperative with him because he just doesn't know how to treat the situation.
You're right.
Just because the instructor is usually going out with her doesn't mean that the girl actually can do it, because she doesn't seem like the type to.
In fact, I would say that the supervisor is like the kind of person that recognizes that, like, okay, at this point, I think like she can do it with someone else as well. I think that's like actually like giving like the approval to the girl that like I trust that you can like do it with someone else as well.
Yeah. So if we give the benefit of the doubt that this is a really good instructor, he knows all the kids well enough to to
at
make
least
the call.
like I propose that this is this case.
Yeah, that would be the positive interpretation.
Okay.
Renee has nonverbal autism, so the counselor had enough
slow
faith
functioning
in Marcus and him being open-minded, him being level-headed, him being non-judgmental, him being a critical thinker, and being an out-of-box thinker. That he
He's something you are not.
He's an out-of-the-box thinker because why exactly?
It should be out of the canoe.
Out of the canoe thinker? Yeah, it's better. Yeah.
Other part, you can see that reflected somewhat in him, in his idea with the tunnel, because he thought she might like that. It backfires later on. But he's trying to accommodate her. She's not going to force we have to go to the other kids because that's what we ought to do here. No, he's trying to make her comfortable. It's not comforting her. He's not comforting her. He's trying to make a comfortable situation for her where she isn't in pain, or whatever you want to call that. While she seems to be, for the most part, unable to communicate to him. That's quite the effort.
He was comfortable with Faith and Marcus to allow him to go in the canoe with Renee. The camp counselor also had enough faith in Renee to be able to soothe herself and to communicate in her own effective and unique way. I love it. Absolutely love it. And I love...
So what pisses me off is this choice of word soothe herself. We are not babies. It's not about... How do you even say that? This infantile thing she's implying. When someone's in physical pain, when she says soothing, I don't know, it makes me think of taking care of a baby. And yeah, you are in a vulnerable situation in that during that time. But I can't imagine that autists came up with that term. It rather seems like something I expect from people like her to have made up.
Isn't it just called...
And again, I'm out of the loop for what's going on in autism forums for the last past 10 years.
We just call that calming down, like just relaxing.
Yeah, thank you.
We have words for it. I don't know what self-soothing ever. I've never heard it before in psych, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, these people invent words and they just try and jam them in there, and you're like, I don't.
Yeah, and notice that the language they use is infantile.
Well, soother, yeah, that would be
it's always childish.
Like a pacifier or something. Anyway.
Yeah.
Both characters to protect them both. Okay, and please let me clarify. So when I say let's normalize people feeling discomfort when meeting new people or being put in different situations that they've never been in before, I mean just that. Again, we are...
That's... What? Normalize... So you're not talking about all the shit you said before. You just mean go meet different people? So when you normalize discomfort...
No, she means that she really means that we should just accept that people are uncomfortable in new situations and end of line.
But that's not what she... Look,
not encourage people to to normalize...
Let's hear it again.
This is a good thing.
Let's normalize people feeling discomfort when meeting new people or being put in different situations that they've never been in before. I mean just that. Again, we are all human.
So she just wants people to be in new situations.
No, she wants people that feel uncomfortable in new situations to just being accepted as being uncomfortable and not being encouraged to get used to it, to overcome their discomfort.
That doesn't make sense.
So the thing is, so she wants to normalize the discomfort instead of normalizing the situation, the innocuous situation for people who are getting into them.
There's a big difference between getting used to something and being an autistic person who can't stand a thing. There's a huge difference. When you are doing the same thing over and over again, you are not going to have an emotional response or any after a certain point in time. It's going to hit that curve and go down, 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 down until it's nothing to you, like walking. The autist does not like the thing. They might have an initial lower response to that thing, but it's still going to overload them. They're not going to like it. It's like a pain. The pain may not be as intense because they've experienced it before, but it's still pain. It's too much. They won't like it. You cannot normalize that.
Do you have some type of food that others can eat or even like that you cannot stand?
It's like a hot food. I don't like hot food. Try this less hot food. I don't like hot food. Try this less hot. I don't like hot food. Like come on.
Yeah, and that exact same thing. Is it for autists with things that you can't even explain why. It can be buttons. An artist who can't stand buttons at all, and thus will not even wear any clothes that has a single button on it.
This is giving me ideas.
Well, it can even that can have a positive positive impact if that artist becomes a fashion designer.
Well,
because you have a limitation that you work in, so that forces you to solve
Everything is going to be
things.
buttons.
I just
creatively.
want this lady to actually read psychology, like actually go to take a psych course and read the textbook and
You
realize
think that fits
We
in her
must
head?
normalize reading.
because normal,
We must normalize sanity.
like all this shit,
That's what we must norm. We must
this
normalize sanity.
all the crap she was saying is completely useless. All the language means nothing, and all her suggestions are bad. This is so silly. She doesn't know what she's talking about. She has no studies to point to. She's like, oh, I feel so much for the autists. They have so bad. Oh, if we could only normalize their behavior, we could all get along. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. Sorry. It's just they don't want
Sorry.
it. Other people don't want it. It's not going to happen. Weird.
Yeah, and this is just a stepping stone, because if you're familiar, I've talked about borderline personality disorder quite a lot. It's been over 10, I would say at least 15 years at this point, at least that I'm aware of it, that through the stepping stone of autism, borderliners have tried to normalize their mental condition as benign and harmless and just being neurodiverse, because that's what they use the autist for. Neurodiversity is not a scientific term, at least not in the hard sciences. It's made up by leftist sociologists.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
First, in order to describe autists, and that can, to some degree, be. You can make the argument, because the autistic brain has up to 40% more neurons than the non-autistic brain. Which is like, imagine you have a gaming PC from 2020, but most autists still run Windows 95 on it with the respective drivers or lack thereof. So all that wonderful hardware is just gonna do jack shit.
I think
that's the problem. The high-functioning autists have better software to use the hardware.
The best term I've heard regarding the brain is neuroplasticity, and that's with people trying to learn new things.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing. It's what they try to say with neurodiversity is that some people's brains work differently, and therefore it's all okay. All brains are valid. And then you get around to the borderliner who has burned fuses, is incapable of normal rational thought. Borderliners are more or less insane. They cannot distinct between reality and fiction properly. They make up magical stories. I've mentioned this a couple of times. They will go on revenge trips on you for something you did in their dreams. And then you have, the antisocials, the psychopaths, who have no functioning conscience. They have no remorse, no guilt. It's not there, not a thing. That would also fall under this weird term of neurodiversity. And I don't think that's a good thing to normalize. They're trying, they are literally trying this, because some people have warned about this, or made it sound like or said it in jest. But they have been, for way over a decade, been trying to normalize very dangerous mental disorders. They are trying to normalize insanity.
All right. 8 minutes. I don't know what more she could say.
There's probably a shilling coming soon.
Well, she already did that. So.
Yeah, but she's this type of person.
I know.
There's more coming.
It's possible. Okay.
Set up is very divisive, and it's very divided.
What are you
So
talking
there are
about?
going to be times where certain people of certain ethnicities or certain cultural backgrounds or people with certain abilities and disabilities have never come across each other.
So?
Because let's be real,
So?
the United States is still segregated. It's like modern day segregation.
What the
No,
fuck
no,
is she
no.
talking about?
If there is any segregation going on in the United States, it's because black people want it.
What
and they've
is-
been pushing for it for a long time, and you are part of the problem.
What
Hey,
are we?
Gingerman, you're the only American here. Is it true?
I don't.
Oh no, silence is
I don't-
acceptance.
Is she talking about like communities where there's suburbs and there's people with like communities of like?
I believe so.
But that's
I cannot
everywhere.
think of anything else than that.
That's every part of the planet where there's a city. They naturally gravitate towards cheaper prices for houses at certain times of the year, and people that live close by other people that are the same. Hey, we have Italian neighbors. Hey, we have Asian neighbors. They all get along.
Are those Chinatowns?
We have multiple Chinatowns in Toronto, and then the GTA. They're all over the place.
Chinatown 1, Chinatown 2, Chinatown 3.
Yeah, there's various little Italies. We have several Greek towns. We have little Serbia. We've got little Portugal. All kinds.
And well, people like her seem to not be comprehending that the world is not the United States. Number one, that's the first point. Because and the second point is at the same time that when people like her talk about other countries that are very homogeneous in their demographic makeup, people like her never mention that. They don't notice it. And I'm getting too tired, so I don't know where I wanted to go with this.
That's
Sorry.
okay. We're almost done anyway. It's another 2 minutes.
So instances where, let's say for an example, a white person has never seen a black person before.
Oh,
and a
are
black
you-
person has
are
never
you-
seen a white
Are
person
you
before.
retarded?
Different backgrounds.
Are you
In the
joking?
United States,
In the United States, anywhere in the planet. Come on, unless you're like some tribe of Africa or something. Are you joking me? A white person has never seen a black. What?
I mean, that might happen in like Eastern Europe, where I'm from.
Yeah. Or in China, in some village.
Maybe, yeah, but
yeah.
come on, metropolitan cities the world over, you've never seen a Sikh.
I'd rather not count China. China hates the rest of the world right now.
Oh,
China doesn't let black people buy anything in their supermarkets.
Right now?
Yeah, like for like 2
Right
years now,
now?
ever since COVID, because like they
Right
have strict-
now?
Yes.
China hates the rest of the world right now? It's been a very
time.
long right now. Like,
No,
No,
but like
how
there's
many
a very
centuries?
obvious like
They hate
xenophobia
it
right now.
more now. Is that better?
What?
They always hate it, but they hate it more now.
It
Okay.
hated
Yeah.
more. Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, that's better.
well, maybe if they had more competitive markets, we'd actually be buying more of their stuff on the exchanges, but they're just not the same, sadly.
Yeah, when you destroy your your internal market
Yeah.
and internal production in favor of some export bullshit, and make yourself an import economy, it's gonna be shit. You're dependent on whoever you're importing from, and if that is some tyrannical fascist crap hole like China, yeah, then you will keep supporting the fascist communist crap hole that shits on human rights like China.
All right. Anyway,
And ethnicity met, other backgrounds and ethnicities. Like some people grow up sheltered. Some people have never been around people with mental health issues or people.
yeah, but so what? What's wrong with that?
Everyone should be around like people who have like these kind of issues.
You know,
Seriously.
yeah. Okay, what happened? I don't know if you guys are aware of high schools in the past 10 years or so. You have to, at least in Ontario, you have to do community service for like half a year or so, non-paid, and you just do whatever the city wants you to do, like pretty much working with other people. And it could be with disabilities, It could be an old age home. It could be whatever. And this, I just learned about this 5-6 years ago that, oh, really? This is mandatory? Every kid has to do this when they hit like grade 12 or whatever. And I was like, why is this a thing? Some people aren't people persons. Some people don't like to communicate very well. They like to do math and science and trigonometry and all kinds of fun stuff like that. But you have to graduate. You have to get your 6 months or whatever it is. It's not for everyone. I don't know if this is a multicultural thing from the municipal government or a federal thing. I don't know. But community service is a standard thing you must do. So.
Who are especially abled. Can we normalize that? Because that's the reality of the situation. That's the reality in which this country is set up. Normalize that. Normalize people not.
It's not. It's not.
What are you talking about?
Well, I think the use of the word normalize is pissing me off. I don't think she knows what she's saying. And when you say normalization or bell curve or any of these psychological terms, like, we have numbers for that. We have stats for that. We don't need to put it into our lexicon. We just look at the stats and say, what is the average? What's the median? What are the kids like these days? What's the probability of having that? Because if we had more than the average, it wouldn't be standard. We would just have, we have a lot of people who are special. We'd have special schools just for them. They wouldn't be part of the normal curriculum. But because they're so small in the population, we have sections of a school. We have special teachers that come in for the slow learners or the gifted learners or whatever. Sometimes we have dedicated schools just to the gifted or just to the academics or just to the arts or dance. There's all kinds of schools specific for that thing in the certain age group. So we already have these specialized places. I don't know why, why this has to be mandated, but everyone should know everyone. It's like, sure, but why? What does that do? How does that help us? It broadens our perspective, yes, but for people, do people getting into engineering really give a shit? Maybe if they're civil engineers and they have to look at the standards, but they'll be taught the standards. They don't need to physically meet the people to figure that out. This stuff's been figured out already for decades. Make a doorway certain height and width. Make your bearings on your building this thick and this density of iron. We don't need to meet the people, laying the steel and smelting the ingots and pouring it. We don't need to do that. They got their own lifestyle. They got their own language. They got their own practices. I don't need to go to the steel mill and learn that. It's nice, but it doesn't teach me anything. It doesn't help the engineer. It doesn't help the architect. Weird. I don't get it. If you want to go into healthcare services, great. That's what your thing. Your thing is people. We understand. You need to be around people, but not everyone does.
Yeah, emotionally immature people should stay the fuck out of those jobs. They think they can help because they think of themselves as, I'm such a good person, I want to help everyone. They do not understand other people and their needs. They're incapable of doing that, and that's why they make everything worse.
If only everyone knew what I knew and had my sensibilities and my upbringing, we'd all get along. It's like, no, you moron.
That would make things even worse.
This is just bizarre talk. I don't know where she's going with this.
Knowing. However, what we don't have to normalize is the mistreatment of people that we've never seen before. So let's normalize.
I don't ever want to see you in life because I don't want to ever talk to you. So I'm going to call you a bunch of names. Would you like me to do that? I'd be happy to meet with you. Fine. You're an idiot.
She's kind of mistreating us as viewers, really.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Some people don't get along with other people for loads of reasons. Not because of their brain chemistry. I'm sure that's part of it. But we're not that smart yet. We can't figure all of that out. We can point to some issues with our genes, with our chromosomes. Sure, very, very specific cases. But in general, no. We don't know the magical mystery of personalities not getting along, regardless of our mental conditions. This is so strange.
People being themselves and unsure of certain situations. But let's combat the negative stereotypes and be open-minded about the people who we meet and we interact with. Just because someone has...
Okay, I'm open-minded about an autistic person who can't communicate. Then what? They don't communicate. Okay, bye. That was the conversation. Hi, I heard your name is Jeff. Oh, silence? That's great. Thanks, Jeff. Okay, bye. What do you want from us? Do you all want us to become healthcare workers? Like, what is this? I don't get it. Let's all become sandwich makers. I think that would treat the world better. Everyone makes sandwiches for everyone else, and we leave them at their doorstep, and they walk, oh, sandwich, look at that. It's my lucky day. I think that would benefit the world more. This is just, oh my God.
Never seen a black person before, a white person before, a Latinx person before, a person who is especially able before.
I've never seen a black person.
Mistreat them. But can we normalize the discomfort so that we can work through that discomfort?
What does that? You just changed your opinion again. You started off by normalizing your discomfort or normalizing whatever the shit or meltdowns. Then you say, no. I didn't mean that. I mean just being around people is normal. And now we're back to normalizing discomfort.
Yeah.
I'm lost. I'm just, what is she saying anymore? I don't know. Good Lord.
Comfort. The discomfort is the issue. I think
discomfort is not the issue. It's communication.
Staying uncomfortable or discomforted is the issue, and being closed-minded and being volatile is the issue. So
the autistic person being volatile is the issue? Okay, maybe. Not to the other person. They're like, what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Jeez. Learn one thing about autistic people, then share your knowledge. That's it. Just read a book, do a little bit of research on the spectrum, what the people, how they behave, how they think, how they react, anything. Then share it with the audience, then make an opinion why you think that way. This is not helping anyone. You're just going, oh, autistic people, we should get to know them better. And I'm like, yeah, sure. In general, not individually. Some people don't give a shit about other people. Some people don't even care if they're autistic or not. It's not, it's like me trying to preach the importance of like quaternion math to like an art student. Like, what the hell? Why do I care about all these numbers? Like, what the fuck? Everyone should learn math. It's like, yes. Or I could not be an engineer. It's like, yes.
I absolutely I need Pixar and Netflix to come on. I need more shorts with people from different backgrounds. I love learning about different cultures, ethnicities.
Why don't you go to those countries? You're so pro learning. Just go there. Don't watch cartoons. Try having communication fun times with
go to China and see how that works out for you.
Yeah, honestly, go to the most bizarre, exotic country you've never been to and see how you do. If you're so pro humanity, go for it. Be the change you want to be in this world. Go out there and prove it to yourself. Then come back to your happy little American black home or whatever the crap you're talking about, where black people have never seen a white person before, some bizarre story. And see how comfortable you are with talking to other people. See how far your amazing linguistic intelligence can stretch out to the Chinese or to Lithuanians or whatever. Pick a random part of the map and just go there. See how well you do.
Mental health issues, people who are specially abled. I want to know more about y'all. And I'm just so happy that we're taking baby steps to get there, but we're getting there, and I think that's a beautiful thing. And I just love this story. Like, Marcus did not know what to do. He has never really been put in a situation like that. We can tell it's all on his body.
No, I'm sure it's a good story, but she's just making it out to be this dumb inspiration that I don't want to watch. It's like I don't even want to see this film anymore. Anyway, that's enough. Black? What, the whole... Wait, there's a minute. 10 minutes, 20 seconds of her again showing off her social media, and then 20 seconds of blackness.
What?
I hit pause, guys. This is actually the video.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
That's how black she is.
She just forgot to trim her video. All right.
Maybe that's a gift for us, like a minute of silence for
I
all
don't
the
know.
people who died.
Do we have any memes? Someone bring us some
Yes.
memes. Just bring us some joy.
Yes.
That was sad. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, Mark, you got us reaction vids. What's that? I came here to laugh at you, Dub. Okay, we'll watch that later, not on the stream. Gorgeous Rex. It's not okay for a white VA to play Cleveland. It is okay for a white animator to animate a black man. I think not. Jeez.
Exactly. Like, let's make the entire cast black. Why not?
Hire all diversity. Everyone has to be different ethnicity. Every time I sign that check, I want a different background from every single animator. I'd like to praise Wall-E for its positive representation of human dirigibles.
Dirigibles.
Okay. Can't pronounce ratatouille. Gourmet card revoked. What do you mean? I can't pronounce ratatouille.
Wait.
Did
Why
you
is Hawk
read?
there?
Did you read what that guy wrote? Who? I can't. Let me see the super chat again.
Why is Hawk in that meme? I'm not Hawk.
I don't know. I guess Hawk is the executioner of the Smudcast.
I mean, okay. I mean, let me just get this out of the way. Let's see if I've got. Hold on.
I'm trying to find it.
No, I'm just trying to find what I want to do. Hold on. If I can.
It was definitely a super chat. I just gotta find it. There it is. This is Matthew Valente and his amazing spelling. Okay. Pixar could be more adult and edgy just because their THERE kid movies DOSE DOSE not mean they cannot take risks and no punctuation. I also hated Soul Space Ratuwile RATUWILE. Okay. Now I'm
Yes.
assuming he meant Ratatouille.
I assume as well. Yes.
Because I can't think of any other Pixar film called Ratuwile. All right.
Unless he's referring to like the bootleg film Ratatouille.
Yeah, and then there's the next one is Inceradibles or Inceradables 2. INCERADBLES. Okay, guys, when I have problems reading, it's not because I can't read. It's because someone typed them out very differently than I was expecting, and my brain goes, "That's not a word. That's not a word. Wait a second. What does that mean?"
Also, I went out of my way to actually post my profile pic in the meme resources because why did George's Rex put Hawk there instead of me?
No.
Now you don't. No one has any excuse now.
Oh,
you have my face.
see, this makes me
Okay,
happy.
Hawk.
Normalizing meltdowns, normalizing vectors. That's what you do.
Yes,
Everything
exactly.
you do, almost everything you do in a 3D engine involves normalizing vectors. If you don't normalize your vectors, you are not going to get hit boxes to work. You're not going to get collision detection to work. You're not going to get almost anything to work properly. So
Damn
Oh,
straight.
indeed.
everything must
Indeed.
become the number one, and everything works. It's great. All right. Can we normalize people in general doing meltdowns? No.
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 Oh boy, buttons everywhere. Oh yeah, okay. I guess Wisp's understanding of people and buttons. All right. Noticing differences SJWs. We should normalize discomfort around the abnormal. Oh.
Oh.
Or one
Absolutely
big homogeneous
not.
mass of people, I guess. We're all the same. Inclusion, 37 kilometers. Boating safety, 0.4. 0.5 kilometers to the right. What?
Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, the fact that the better option is much closer.
Positive black and autism representation. Where was the black stuff? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But I'm sorry you didn't get your black representation there or talking about it. It's all about the autistic person. So, yay, I guess. Huh? Happy days. Anyway, that was a bit sad. 2 hours, not bad. Short video, so not much to say. Just selling herself, selling her social media, and then 20 seconds of black. Nothing. Great. I felt like she rushed that video and just rambled on and tried to correct herself with text on the screen. But holy crap, that was sad.
I don't think she even tried.
I'm not even sure what she's trying to do. I was like, what was the point of the video? Normalize, don't...
Stupidity as usual.
Segregation, like, holy... There's segregation in the States. Like, okay, Jesus, fine. Good for them. Haven't had a problem walking up my door, meeting all kinds of different ethnicities. So that's just me and my neck of the woods. Anyway, keep the suggestions coming, folks. Thanks for all the attention and time to go through this wonderful video. As always, have a great one. Talk to you soon.